Greetings everyone, a warm welcome, namaste. Welcome to this video for Scorpio tarot reading for March 2018. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. We will be using the Morgan Greer cards you see in front of you, 4 of them, and then 4 clarifiers after that as well. Now before I started the reading, I did do some intuitive work for you, and Scorpio, the words that came up for you guys were authentic self. And it was about, it says, take off your mask and be your authentic self. Stop hiding. Feel free and happy just being you. So Scorpio, that's kind of a message that you could either uplift or work on if you feel it sort of resonates with you at this point in time. So I will start shuffling for Scorpio for March 2018. March is an interesting month. We've just come out of the eclipse energy of February, and it's also the changeover of seasons on the globe, so it can be quite a tempestuous month, especially energy-wise at any rate. So Scorpio, let's see what's in store for you guys. Not much shuffling here for you. It was the opposite for Libra, I think. The 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Swords, the 3 of Hearts, and the Death card. I also noted for you guys the number 7 and the crown chakra and the colour purple as well. So let's just shuffle these cards a little bit for you guys and see what's in store. Scorpio, March 2018. One more. Contract, Yin Yang. Angel of Strength has come out as being the top card, but there is another one underneath it, and that is Envy over here. So let us put those cards down and work on the reading. So we will start with the top left and work down through the columns that way. There is no set time agenda with this reading. It is very free-flowing. It can be moving throughout the month, also taking you into April, as well as working here in February, since that is when I'm actually making the videos. The first 2 cards work really well together, the 3 of Pentacles and the Contract. The 3 of Pentacles is often about our career or our finance sector. Now for those of you who aren't working, who might be retired or before working age, this can also be about your passions in life or your hobbies or your creative zone. So it can be slotted to fit into anything. But the card usually represents being acknowledged somehow at work and having some sort of accolade or dividend paid out. It can sometimes be when you receive accreditation for exams you've been sitting, or for an exemplary behaviour at work, or a project that's being completed, or even if you are going up the stages through your working place. So you might have started off as a floor person in a shop, then you're working your way to supervisor, then you come up to the next level of management like a 2IC, and so on and so on. Sometimes this can be when 3 people are involved, so maybe yourself, a co-worker and a boss, or this could even be when you are forming a strategy between 3 people, such as a new business operating with 3 partners, or the potential where 3 people collaborate to form something solid and structural that is moving forward or positive. So the Contract card underneath tells us very much about the same thing. It's suggesting there is some form of cohesive activity taking place that allows you to be offered a contract in particular. So maybe a signed document coming your way, such as the offer of employment, or an accreditation, or an exam result, or a certificate, or an approval, or an application to join something. Now, and as I say, a lot of this is often connected around your work or career avenue in life. So it's a great way to start March. It feels very positive. It feels as though you are being rewarded for the work you have put in, for the diligence that you pay, and for your knowledge and ability. So as I say, it could also be new contracts being formed amongst people, like a collaboration, 3 of you working together, or some sort of new idea or business coming into form as well. Now we move to the next one and we have the Six of Swords, and we have underneath 22 the Yin Yang. So the Six of Swords is often a card that sort of speaks to us at two levels, both physically and more at the metaphysical level. It talks about the fact that we are moving on from something and leaving something behind. Now, interestingly, these other cards up here have a little bit of that feeling as well, Scorpio. So the Six of Swords can represent moving from something that's been troubling into calmer waters, and often it refers to relationships. Sometimes this is when you'll move away from something that hasn't been harmonizing for you in your life. It can be a close relationship, such as a marriage or a partner that you've been living with in the romantic terms, or it could be family members that are splitting up to go their own way. This could be when your older children move out of home and go their own way, or you move away to something that you've been focusing on or wanting to experience in your life. Or it could be when families are dissolving themselves and coming together to form new families, so extended family members. There's a lot of those type of meanings within the card as well. It also mean the literal or physical form of travel, in as much that we can go on a trip overseas, and sometimes this is across water, and for some of you it might even involve a boat trip one way or another. Some of you might be embarking on a cruise. Both of these cards actually have reference to water, the fact that that boat there with the people in it is traversing water. The yin yang is also about cycles in life and the changes we go through, and in the upright position it is very much about the female energy of the yin energy, and that's associated with your type of energy, the water energy, that fluidity, the movement, the creativeness of life. So it's suggesting possibly that as you move away from whatever has come to an end, or an end of a cycle, or something that hasn't been balanced necessarily for you and you've felt a little bit uncomfortable with it, you're moving into this new cycle and you feel more creativeness, more flow, compassion, energy, movement. Those two cards do work really well together. And with the yin and the yang card here, and moving up and traversing through all this, I do see a really large feeling of movement throughout your reading, and especially as we get towards the end. And I feel as though some of it is revolving around relationship issues, possibly with yourself, if not with other people, because when I said earlier at the beginning, when I had done the intuitive messages for you, and you got to become your authentic self, and it said stop hiding and feel free and happy just being you, there's a sense here in this reading as if part of that makes a real contact or a connection with you, because the death card is most definitely about that. It's about understanding of the new cycles coming in, like the yin and the yang, and knowing when you stand up and be yourself and not be restricted by other people's indoctrination of how they see you, or how they want you to behave, or how they perceive you. So moving on to the Three of Swords and the Angel of Strength, I actually have a feeling those two cards came out together in another reading as well. The Three of Swords can often represent a time when there has been a miscommunication within a relationship, and that it's time to do some work on it if you want to keep the relationship going. However, I've got a feeling some of you are leaving relationships behind, because we see all this movement here. If, however, there is a relationship in your life you would rather work on, then communication is the key to resolving it all. And it's important to do the right type of communication. You know, we see so many people nowadays try and take their relationships through the art of texting or things like that, which doesn't really give the true depth of meaning behind your words. They can be misconstrued or misunderstood one way or another. So it's important, if you are trying to resolve something, or you would rather have it fixed, or you want to go through mediation, to use the right form of communication. Now, if this is a feeling of loss in a relationship and there is heart pain around it, it's also knowing that this doesn't last forever, and this is part of a cycle that we are going through and moving into the new phases of life. And we've got this with 1, 2, 3 cards here, this whole new movement coming through. So For some of you who there might have been a person or a relationship or a partner who has decided to walk away or leave you behind, know that you will be ready to move on. It's all part of this new life direction that's coming to you. You know, for some of you, as I mentioned before, it could even be that your children are growing up and leaving and you've got the empty nest syndrome. Sometimes that's part of the pain that we feel. For some of you, this could be about a physical heart pain, so get your heart checked, make sure your cholesterol is at the right level and your blood pressure is fine as well. Some of you may even have things like angiograms or x-rays or something to do with activity around your heart, chest or lungs. Now the angel of strength underneath is a beautiful one to have, especially when we feel any pain or loss or sadness around relationships or even physical pain. This tells you that you have got some strength coming to you, or you are rebuilding inner strength. Perhaps there has been a time where you have felt deflated or you have felt wounded by others. This is when your inner strength is starting to come back, and perhaps this entire situation here and also over here that's prompted you to move something forward and leave something behind. This is what could be fueling your inner strength, regaining self-confidence, not being afraid to be your authentic self. And I think that seems to be quite a strong message coming through the cards. If we come here to death, also just coming back to the angel of strength, I do think of this about physical strength as well. So some of you may have been unwell physically, and it could have had something to do with the heart, chest, lungs or rib cage type area in the sternum. So I think if you have been unwell and have either been through operations or you've been bedridden for some reason or had like a serious flu or something like that, your strength should start to be returning. So that whole message there could even just be indicative of some sort of physical ailments that some of you have been going through. So rest and recuperation, eating the right foods, making sure you nurture yourself both emotionally and physically when you haven't been feeling very well is actually really important. So coming back here to death and the envy card. The death card symbolises new beginnings because there's a sort of a sun coming up in the background there on the horizon, and what it tells us is that we are letting go of old systems, thought, beliefs, people, situations, sometimes careers, health issues, all sorts of things. We have come to a point where we are aware that they are no longer part of what we wish to carry forward in life. So we let them go, and that's why the card is called death. So it is a major arcana. It does usually indicate quite big changes coming one way or another. Now for some of you, the card underneath the envy could be the fact that you have been thinking, oh, you know, I haven't had this in life, or I haven't had that, or I wish I had the same as this person. It could be about letting go of envy and waking up to the realization that you have a great potential, or that you already have a lot in life to base your steps as you move forward with this new direction and new ideas and new energy that is coming your way. So any envy you may have had, which can also tie into self-doubt, feels as though it's dropping off when you regain your strength. That they're very tied in, this kind of end over here. There's almost two parts to the reading, what with the offer and things over here and the potential of jobs and successes and contracts and acknowledgement. Maybe that was the thing that kick-started you into feeling that you had the strength and the creativeness and the free flow to move into a whole new field as 2018 kicks into shape. So I think as you move beyond March, which is why I said I think this reading actually will take you further and into April, you will start to figure out what it was that you were leaving behind and why you chose to do it and how far you move ahead. So I think it'll be quite a long journey. It's not just going to be short things. It feels as though there is more length involved in this message. So there we are, Scorpio. I trust you have enjoyed this and found some of the pointers helpful for you in making decisions as you move forward. You've certainly got quite a lot of change coming, and I think a lot of it is from your own end. And certainly for any of you who have been unwell, it feels as though some of your physical and emotional strength is coming back as well. So I wish you all the very best for March. Have a wonderful journey of discovery and newness and excited opportunities in the career sector possibly as well. Thanks for joining me and liking and subbing, and thanks for leaving your comments, guys. So I look forward to catching up with you next month. Much love. Namaste.